So often on Tech Today, we talk about big leaps in innovation, and a lot of smartphone companies seem to take the credit. But the real power and the real heart of all of it is a company that we call Qualcomm. We're at the Qualcomm booth here at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and I have a very special guest with me on Tech Today. President Qualcomm India, Savi Soin. What a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Savi, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And honestly, this is a booth that I come to at every MWC to geek out, and it's endless. Like, there's so many things to do over here. This time, I'm guessing the conversation's all about Gen AI.
Yes, very much so. I think you'll see a bunch of different use cases around here for Gen AI, all the way from automotive. You'll see use cases around what you can do on PC. You'll see use cases on the smartphones. So we're bringing AI functionality all the way to multi-device and to multi-tiers of devices as well. So we are really excited in what we are able to do and the use cases that consumers are going to see on Qualcomm platforms with Gen AI.
Savi, what I find interesting about the Qualcomm booth, and this I must say, is that often we have so many consumer-facing companies with really cool products, but at the heart of it is Qualcomm and a bunch of engineers who really know their stuff in terms of innovation. And I think that's amazing. You see the Humane AI guys here, you see what Honor is doing with some of their devices. That's a very Qualcomm way of doing things, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, at the heart of it, we bring innovation. At the heart of innovation, we enable our partners. And that could be anybody in the ecosystem, all the way from developers to OEMs, to people like carriers, right? We bring innovation. That's our DNA, right? We're an engineering company that's very focused on what are the use cases that the enterprise needs? What are the use cases the consumer needs?
Yeah.
And what you are seeing is a showcase of what are the enabling technologies that our engineers have been working on for the last 12 months or even longer, and what we are bringing to the users. So it's been really exciting, having worked at Qualcomm, I'd say we're a large startup. So the fact that you see that in this booth is exactly who we are. We are a very large company, but we are all about innovation. We're all about moving fast. We're all about making quick decisions, and we're all about bringing innovation to the consumers.
I remember, Savi, maybe last year at the Snapdragon Summit, everyone was talking about ray tracing, which had come on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, and then we saw a lot of smartphone manufacturers coming up with it. I used it and experimented with it right here in terms of someone who loves gaming. So you're spot on about it. But last year there was a buzzword, a semblance of a buzzword saying artificial intelligence. The world of AI is really growing in leaps and bounds. This year, there's a huge domination in terms of AI. Now, it's one thing to display these things at these booths, but when you're in closed door meetings, behind the scenes, what are tech leaders really talking about? Is AI really the buzzword? Is there also conscious, and I have to ask you this, a conscious, step to consider ethical and responsible AI? Are safeguards also being discussed in these closed rooms?
I think mostly right now, we're at the infancy of what AI can do. Most of the focus right now, obviously we're very conscious about what's the right way for governance and all of that stuff. But most important right now for us is what are the enabling use cases with 5G, right? Or actually with AI. And what I tell you is some of the things that we are doing around stable diffusion. And what's really exciting is the art of the possible with AI in your hand, right? So for example, let's say you're the consumer, you wanna use some of the large language models to be able to, change coats and see how, a Louis Vuitton coat or some other coat looks on you, right? And then go in a purchasing decision and make a purchase. It's unbelievable the art of what is possible with AI in the hands of the consumer. And that's what we are trying to do. We announced our AI Hub initiative, which is basically giving the developers access to some of our large language models, access to the tools, access to the documentation, and access to the device farms that are available right now. So I think we're just at the infancy of what AI can do on device, and we're really excited about it.
Savi, what we're really excited about is to understand what the acclimatization period's been like for you. You were at Qualcomm HQ for so long, and it's interesting that you have those sort of insights. You're now here in the big seat and the India role. What has that process been like? What are the learnings from HQ that we can see over the next couple of months, perhaps, the next couple of years, that you will be really employing at Qualcomm India?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I have to spend a lot of time, educating HQ about the India opportunity, right? I think I keep telling HQ on the level of innovation that is happening in India. For example, on two-wheelers, right? It is pretty unreal what the two-wheeler companies across the board, from Royal Enfield to Bajaj to TVS to Ether, even to Ola are doing. It's really unreal, right? I have to tell them about operators and the ARPU that the operators have, right? And are able to make profit with the revenue and the per user revenue that they're getting, right? It's an amazing opportunity that we are trying to. I'd say most of my time is spent in educating HQ on what is the India opportunity, how we have to do things differently, what do we have to do to win in India, and then what is the unique things about India as a market, right? And an opportunity for us, right? I'd say settling down in after a long time in India has been a good experience, but I'd say I'm very excited about the talent that we have. I think that India has to offer, right? We were aware, obviously, we have large engineering teams in India, but the level of talent, I didn't have, sitting in HQ, I didn't have a sense of, how deep, how aggressive, and how talented these individuals, fresh out of school, 5 years into the really have, right? So it's a very eye-opening for us, and that's something that I've been telling HQ on what's the art of the possible is.
Interesting. So now, Savi, you have a perspective from both sides, very unique, and that's why I want to understand from what you see of Qualcomm India and Qualcomm globally, how important a market would you say is India for the global brand?
I think India is going to be very essential. Obviously, you expect me to say that, but look, at the end of the day, India, with all the Make in India, Design in India initiative, India is in a very unique position, in my opinion, right? You've got AI, we're just starting to see AI, especially in India. You're starting to see the benefits of 5G, especially around fixed wireless and in the enterprise, right? All of these, and obviously the geopolitics that's happening around the globe, right? You're able to see, I think India is at the cusp of something very unique that I have worked in this industry for a very long time. I haven't seen. And I think India is grasping this opportunity with both hands across multiple segments. Not just the four-wheelers, the two-wheelers, the fixed wireless, even, companies that are doing just hearables and wearables are being able to do that, right? I think, it's amazing opportunity to be able to do something unique in India.
No, absolutely. And you also mentioned several auto brands that are doing well here in India, and it's a tough market to crack for a lot of tech and auto companies. But what we've been seeing is that a lot of tech and auto companies, in terms of function, are merging into one. Auto companies seem to be differentiating with one layer, which happens to be tech. And I feel like that's where Qualcomm comes in. You guys have a very active auto tech team. Is that going to be, one of the key components of your India strategy?
Absolutely. I think in automotive, we are engaged with all the Indian auto OEMs. We're seeing, I didn't talk about EV, the electric vehicles that are coming out, and the software-defined vehicles that are coming out, right? I think there's an opportunity for India to leapfrog in some of these countries in terms of the level of software-defined vehicles, in terms of use cases they can bring on electric vehicles that we haven't seen in the rest of the world. So I think I'm very thrilled working with all the four-wheeler companies in automotive, and I think sky's the limit there.
One thing that's been really making the headlines is this new Samsung Galaxy phone with Galaxy AI. And I know with the Snapdragon chip, there's a lot of interesting things happening on device as well. How do you see it, Savi, really evolving, the AI revolution with an India push? Is it on-device AI? Should we be relying on really good, cloud AI with some great connectivity? If you look at the AI revolution being truly democratic in a country like India, what's the way forward?
I think for India, it has to be hybrid AI on device for various reasons, right? I would say, just having learned that in such a cost-sensitive market, you can't have enterprises have a large bill in terms of the cloud.
Yes.
Right? So optimizing these models on-prem, optimizing these models for cost reasons, optimizing these models for performance reasons, and we haven't even touched the security and the privacy reasons.
Absolutely.
Right? I believe that for India, hybrid AI would be an amazing opportunity. I was talking to one of the CEOs, and we're working on some things on why hybrid AI, why India, and looking at the not just the talent pool in India, the companies that are in India, and how India can take advantage of it. I think the guy was telling, the CEO was saying, hey, absolutely, this is a no-brainer on why hybrid AI could be something very unique for India.
Yeah.
Right? Not everything needs to go to the cloud, right? Where you have a large cloud bill, right? As you were talking, my Gurgaon house, right, has about 50 cameras all over the place, right? CCTVs, right? IP cameras all over the place. And they're all providing a feed to a single person sitting in a security room, right? And I was talking to him, I was like, hey, how do you actually monitor these cameras? I mean, can be looking at 50 cameras at the same time, right? Imagine if we can bring more of the at the edge or on-prem, the ability to do inference on the edge, right? We don't have to go everything on the cloud, where the cloud tells the security guy what to do, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a unique opportunity for us to be able to, and by the way, sky's the limit. We can do license plate recognition for tolls. We can do, different use cases around the world. Right?
Fascinating, Savi. And now I have to ask you the the billion-dollar question about AI. And I know that this has been overdone, so we're going to add a little twist to it. When we talk about AI, like the example that you just gave us, there's that classical argument of AI taking away jobs, AI augmenting existing jobs. Where do you stand now when you look at AI from a global perspective? We've seen the development that's happened with ChatGPT, with Gemini, and what a lot of these image and video generation models are all about. Language learning models are growing at a rapid pace. But is it the time to embrace that AI, or is it a time to be a little worried about it and take 2 steps back?
I think it's absolutely the right time to embrace it and figure out how you can leverage it. It's like the internet, right? Back in the day, if I would ask that question like, hey, internet, do we embrace it, right? But AI is right now, in my opinion, right now, is the cusp of something very unique, right? And I think embracing it, now I think we would look back 20 years and say, we should embrace it and figure out a way to, harness the power of AI on device.
Savi, I think it's been a fascinating conversation. I'm going to leave you to all your other closed door meetings and maybe get some insights from you, and also enjoy the Qualcomm booth, something I enjoy doing at MWC. What a pleasure to have you on Tech Today, and we hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you very much.